Greetings and salutations, everybody. I'm Andrew from Team Respawn, and there is a new Halo MCC update coming out very soon. There's no release date for it as of yet, but there is a link to it in the description if you want to read along. It does say the 20th is what the patch notes are dated, so this could be an indication that this is coming out on the 20th, which is tomorrow of recording this. So there's a ton of stuff, and I know a lot of people were concerned of like, hey, is this the only major update the MCC is getting? Is there going to be more features and things like that? It seems to be that right now they're still focused on bug fixes before they go and do other things. So starting with global things, the most one that people have been really outspoken about is if you're not in a region that's very highly populated for the MCC, you're going to spend an eternity waiting for matchmaking. So people in Asia and Australia and South America, places like that, those types of continents and areas where there's not a lot of players, you're kind of just SOL if you can't find anyone. So they're updating the matchmaking logic to help players in less populated regions find matches. There's a ton of issues in here, so things like general leaderboard improvements are here, network stability improvements in networking scenarios, fix several issues that prevented hosts from earning achievements when clients were correctly given progress. Let's see, fix an issue where players who disconnected were awarded wins during match-made games. That seems to be like a pretty big one. So that's kind of some things across the board. They get into the nitty-gritty stuff for really everything. So starting for Halo 1, I know that they said there were a ton of things added to Halo 1, and I think they said in a previous blog post that because of this update, it's going to wipe your in-progress saves for Halo 1. So it's, let's say you start a level and you get like halfway there and you quit, and it saves your progress. I think this update clears it for just Halo 1 only. So they were saying, if you haven't yet, be sure to finish that part in Halo 1, or you'll have to restart the level. So they've added the blind skull to allow screenshots to be taken without HUD elements, as well as for players seeking higher scores with campaign scoring. So that's kind of neat. Get a new skull. Fixed issues with the rocket launcher rounds firing slightly offset from the reticule. That's cheddarful. Resolve gamertag persistence over players with active camo. This one I like a lot. Especially Halo 1 and Halo 2 had really hard times to identify players. I think it's just because the games are old. Improvements to targeted player enemy name, the HUD location as well. Improvements for networking code for hit detection and shot registration, which is great. Improvements to the AR registration, resolving the inability to shoot power-ups and players. Improvements to the shotgun hit detection at close range. Improvements to the kill feed and respawn countdown timer. Adjusted text for custom game kill penalty option header now reads no kill penalty. Interesting. That's it for Halo 1. For Halo 2, there's not a whole lot. They improved the behavior scenarios where the Xbox One X and other Xbox models are playing live co-op together. Because I know there were issues where I think it was if the client was an X and the server was a VCR model of the Xbox One, there were issues or something. They improved stability during split screen, and they fixed an issue where Cortana appeared partially rendered during the Great Journey in classic graphics. For Halo 3, they fixed an issue where a dedicated server would not be allocated to the host, or to host a match-made game in certain networking scenarios. They fixed the golf club reticule. I didn't know that was even off. The golf ball now appears in its intended glistening white. Fixed the insertion points for the arc on the playlist Tanks, Tanks, Tanks. In Halo 4, they fixed a crash that would occur in Spartan Ops. Fixed a rare issue with HUD elements duplicating or overlapping during lightning flag game types. They did general fixes to the skull names and descriptions. So I'm not sure if that means that some of the skulls were wrong or named wrong or something, but I think that's kind of nifty. They fixed ordering and movement speed options in custom games. Now here's something we haven't seen in a long time, and it's ODST fixes. We haven't really seen anything across the entire portion of both the MCC Insider program and the first update of the MCC. They never talked once about ODST, and now we're finally getting some ODST fixes for those of you who are interested in ODST. They fixed an issue where the player is not brought to the post-game combat, I think it's report, it's PGCR, after the last mission in a playlist. Players who do not have ODST installed are now brought to the game install screen when they attempt to join a party that has ODST selected. They fixed an issue when progressing to Data Hive on the Street Smart playlist, and they fixed an issue preventing players from immediately accessing ODST after switching Xbox profiles. For Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer, they fixed an issue that caused shadows to not render properly when playing in 4K. The assault rifle ammo counter is now fixed. The inconsistent button mapping for Banshee tricks is fixed with the universal bump and jump layout. And they fixed displaying infection medals in games that have more than 12 players. So that's nice to see. I love Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer. That's a great mode. For campaign in general, the ODST and Halo 3 level completion stats are no longer combined on the playlist main menu. They're separated now. They fixed an issue where campaign progress would accidentally appear blank after launching the title. They fixed inaccuracies with playlist leaderboard entries. The pause UI no longer disappears when viewing skull and difficulty details. There's a couple of small things here that I don't think are really relevant to most people. They're talking a little bit about matchmaking things that they made it the flow a little bit better. For Forge and Films, there's some things, again, if you don't have ODST, it just won't freak out on you. It'll direct you correctly to ODST install screen. And players who now save screenshots, when you can save screenshots now if your Xbox is not connected to Xbox Live, so that's great. The impulse triggers are now re-enabled after selecting Restore Default Settings in the settings. Subtitle options now appear under audio settings. That's good. Fixed an issue. Oh, it says this for convenience. So I guess it was there under video, but now they're changing it to audio. Fixed an issue where roster session leader is unable to access network settings after all members have left the squad. And that's kind of it for this update. This all seems like very good things. And as you can tell, there's not a ton of stuff related to the multiplayer side, and that's because overwhelmingly the majority of players are able to play multiplayer just fine now. And the small number of players who I've seen have been complaining about the multiplayer side of the MCC, they were located in areas where there wasn't a lot of people populated. So there were a lot of people in like Southeast Asia, for example, where a lot of the people there were very vocal about this, and it's glad to see that the matchmaking logic has been changed so they can keep playing games. So this is all good. I'm really glad for this. I think the MCC is fantastic. If you don't have it, I think you should pick it up. It's on Game Pass right now, so if you have Game Pass, it's there. So here's another thing that they say at the bottom of this blog post. It says, keep an eye out on our next MCC blog, as it will contain details on current bug investigations, playlist fixes and updates, and more information beyond what bugs we are fixing in our upcoming update. As always, we would like to say thank you to those who have taken the time to give us your constructive feedback. It is very much appreciated to help us bring the changes you want to see in the game. Cheers. This is written by Postums. So, very good stuff. I think, if I were to guess, this comes out tomorrow. This isn't a very big update, so I don't think they really needed to announce anything other than just a blog post. So, enjoy it. Let me know how you think in the comments below. And if there's any new updates to the MCC, it'll be here on the channel. So if you want to slap that subscribe button, feel free to do so. And if you want to chat with us live at any time, join our Discord. We're on there all the time. Link to that's in the description. And that does it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.